A couple of weeks ago, I built this temporary structure to keep my tractor out of the sun. Well, in this video, I'm building the real thing on the other side of the shed. I have this chain link fence on the other side of the shed, and obviously that's in the way of the new shed extension. So the first thing I needed to do was remove this fence. It is very much grown into the weeds and vine at the bottom, so pulling it out by hand was really not an option. But, well, I do have the tractor, so I just pulled it out with it. I was a little afraid something would snap and hit me in the face, so I pulled really carefully, and it all worked out at the end. To gain the most headroom in this new shed extension, I wanted to dig down about 4 inches. I'm tying into the existing roof of the old shed, so I can only go as high as the old roof line is. And with the slope of the new roof, well, you get the idea, right? So digging down a little bit helped me out a great deal. Before I started the excavation work, I called 811, the number for the utility, location, service, marking people. And they marked with these red flags my electricity line and with the orange flags my internet line. And it turned out that the internet line just touches one of the corners of the area I had to dig out. So I had to be really careful, and I didn't use the tractor to dig that part out. And this cable is actually my internet line. It's the coax cable running from the pole to my house. It's only about 2 inches below grade, and I almost killed it with a shovel. So to prevent any further damage, I put some plastic conduit around it, and then I spray painted it orange so I could better see it. And then I also put a 2x4 under it and also spray painted orange, so this is hopefully as safe for my internet as it gets. It would have taken me a few weeks probably to dig this out with the shovel and the wheelbarrow. It only took me a few hours with the tractor. I'm not a very skilled mason, so I had to cheat a little bit to get a straight and level foundation wall. First, I run a string line to show the outside dimensions of the new wall. I also made sure that the two walls, the two string lines, are in right angle to each other. But then, instead of free building the wall up to the string line, I'm attaching these 2x2s to the ground, and I make sure that they are level, and obviously they give me a very straight edge. So in the next step, I can now pour concrete and backfill to this level line, to this level 2x2, and then all I have to do is set my concrete blocks into the wet concrete. This gives me a straight and level first course of the concrete blocks. It only takes a little bit of tapping with the rubber mallet to level each block individually. And here's my new method of mixing concrete. I actually got this from a viewer's comment in one of my previous videos. Instead of shoveling the concrete mix into the mixer, I just dump the whole bag in. The mixer will rip it apart, after all it's just a paper bag, and it will crush it down so you don't even see that in the final mix. So that makes it really easy and really clean. My driveway is on the other side of the house. With the tractor and the pallet fork, it is now super easy to haul all the building material over to where I need it. So here I'm coming up against my internet cable with my little wall, and the cable basically runs through the wall, or at least when I'm done it will be. So I'm putting this corner block on the opposite side of the cable, and then I fill up the empty space there, you will see that in a second, on both sides with concrete mix. A day or so later I added a second course of concrete blocks, and then another day later I added this row of solid blocks as a top cap. It really ties the wall together and it looks great now. It gives it a finished look. It's really important to wet both the concrete blocks you're setting and the ones you're setting them onto before putting the mortar mix on, because if you don't wet it, the dry blocks suck all the water out of the mortar mix and it sticks a lot less. So with the wall wet, it keeps the moisture in the concrete mix and it much better attaches to the concrete blocks on both sides. For the final touches I had to trim down some of the concrete blocks, and with the diamond blade in the angle grinder, this is really an easy task. It cuts through like a hot knife goes through butter. Really that easy. And that's the foundation wall complete. Stay tuned for the next video in the shed building series. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you soon.